Spring 2026 had more high-profile romance anime than I can ever remember before. While shows like Witch Hat Atelier and Re:Zero occupied the very pinnacle spots of popularity, the entire foundation of these past 3 months has been quality romance stories. As someone who covers this genre extensively, it was really exciting to feel like the niche was such a part of the mainstream. But the title of this video questions if it's the best romance anime season, and that, I fear, is a pretty confident no. I haven't been following release schedules for a super long time, but I can confidently say that the summer of 2025 was superior for me. Fragrant Flower, My Dress Up Darling Season 2, and Rascal Does Not Dream of Santa Claus is a collection of top-tier 9 or 10 out of 10 type shows that this go-around didn't quite reach. But there is something that makes this past season really special in my eyes, and that is its variety. Frankly, I think if you are even a passing fan of romance, there is something for you in this slate of shows. Want a straight-up romance that moves quickly and satisfyingly? Got that. What about a super slow burn? Got that too. Light-hearted love triangle, supernatural mystery romance, borderline alcoholic Yuri masterpiece. Check, check, check. The most amazing part is that they're all pretty good too. These are shows that I can easily see being someone's favorite, and at the least one that you remember fondly if a clip comes across your feed. This was like a giant romance anime buffet, and I loved it. As a sort of wrap up to the season, I want to give out my own superlatives for the shows. Fake awards that are really an excuse to shout out particularly interesting or frustrating series to me. And at the end, I'll give out the last award to what I thought was the best overall romance anime. Feel free to disagree with me over any of them in the comments. And as a reminder, while I tried to get to all of the romances this season, inevitably some are still on my watch list. The big one is Go For It Nakamura-kun, which I have only heard wonderful things about. I will watch it, but for this video it will be notably absent. Sorry. Our first award is for the anime that had my favorite character designs, and the winner is Gals Can't Be Kind to Otaku. This anime was one of my personal favorites this season, not because it reinvented the wheel or anything, but because it managed to build out a satisfying love triangle and interesting friendships between the main 3 characters. What was really special to me about this anime was the visual work it did with its characters. Their base designs have a unique look to them as it is, but where they really shine is in their malleability. From one exaggerated expression to the next, it's almost like the anatomy of their faces themselves are changing. I remember one of the takeaways from that really funny Frieren looking up drawing was how much thought goes into keeping character designs consistent in anime, as these figures move 3-dimensionally in a 2D medium. The work that goes into making it all look natural. Gals Can't Be Kind to Otaku feels delightfully flippant with these philosophies, beholden to the emotions being portrayed more than staying in the strict lines of the characters' base designs. It gives the whole show such vibrancy, and adds a million different layers between the usual normal and chibi designs that you'd see in another anime. Kei and Kotoko become ideas more than one specific look, and I think this gives so much freedom to let them be funny and charming in their visuals, as well as something like the voice acting. I think more than anything else, this is why Gals Can't Be Kind to Otaku was such a blast of a romance anime, a simple concept that rode entirely on the back of its 2 heroines. I Want to End This Love Game should be a bigger hit than it is. It has a fairly popular and quite well-liked manga as source material. As I said before, romance feels more popular than ever as a genre in a thriving anime space. And yet, this first season got off to a rocky start. Right off the bat, the animation quality is just not there. Too many obviously 3D environments, and if you look too closely, you'll start to notice that anytime a character is not actively doing something, they're more like a PNG than a living person. Maybe this would be passable under other circumstances, but we were just talking about a show like Gals Can't Be Kind to Otaku, which nukes this one from orbit when it comes to production quality. Then there's the premise, which I think is a tough sell at this moment. The entire core of the story is the tension between Miku and Yukiya playing the love game, while secretly actually being in love with each other. It's a slow burn in the most traditional sense, built on teenage angst and unrequited feelings. Nothing wrong with that, but it does feel like most of the popular recent romances have all had a focus on rolling the ball a bit quicker. At the very least, there has been an emphasis on honest feelings, and Love Game is more of a 3 steps forward, 2.8 steps back at every turn. I will admit that it even frustrated me a fair bit, and shows like this are my whole shtick. Combine all of this together, and the show died a bit out of the gate. The reason it's getting this award, though, is that in the final few episodes, it really started to come alive. Honesty finally feels close, and some of the emotional beats are finally coming to roost in a satisfying way. Also, mild spoiler warning, but this anime has one of the most intense and electric first kiss scenes that I've ever seen. Like, that was really a wow, that is different moment that needs to be shouted out. I'm still not sure that for me personally this is a must-watch romance anime, but seeing it surge a bit in relevance down the stretch after a disastrous start makes me wonder how it'll end up being remembered months or years down the line. Full transparency, I am only halfway through Botan Kamina Fully Blossoms When Drunk at the time of writing this. But wow. However many people are raving about this anime, it's not enough. An anime about a group of university students drinking together and falling in love that's based on a moderately received manga sounds like a recipe for a trashy disaster. Instead, this is legitimately one of the most ambitious and breathtaking romances I have ever seen, bar none. It makes me genuinely sad that a lot of people may never end up checking it out because they think Yuri isn't for them, or judge it by its metaphorical cover. That's why I titled this award the way I did. If even one person passes this up because of labels or preconceived notions, that's too many. The visuals are stunning. The characters are nuanced. The yearning oozes out of the story like honey from the comb. I have a lot to say about this anime, but it will be getting its own video for that. For now, I think that I've made my affections clear. The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten Season 2 was certainly something. In concept, I love later seasons of romance anime. Getting to see the couples enjoy each other's company in a committed relationship can be awesome and satisfying. But you don't often get to see those future stories animated. Angel Next Door Season 2 was the first time I started to understand why that may be the case. I liked the first season plenty. I even made a video about it. Getting to see Mahiru and Amane after their confession seemed even better. Instead, what we got was 12 episodes of not much happening at all. The side characters somehow got more pushed to the side, and the relationship between our main two ground to a complete standstill. It felt like the same conversations over and over, one of them getting insecure before the other assures them that they only love each other. Then some weird commentary about how Amane is worried he can't control his male urges, like he's a werewolf and the full moon is imminent. The reward for sticking the whole season out was one of the worst finales I have ever seen, A complete stumble to close things out, where literally nothing concluded and the major plot points were left hanging. Mahiru lost the teeth that made her so charming in season 1, and the fantasy of domesticity overwhelmed everything else to make this a flat and uninteresting sequel. Angel Next Door Season 2 was like the second slice of cake in one sitting, a mistake that really sets in the further you go. Sweet, but eventually sickening. If a Season 3 gets made, I hope they can turn things around. While there are countless things I have to say about all of the shows this season, that's what the rest of this channel is for. For this video, it's time to close with the romance anime I thought was the overall best. In a crowded field, there was one that rose above the rest. I think you all know which one I mean. It was the topic of plenty of conversation and clips and praise for the whole 3 months. I myself have made videos about it already, eager to discuss all that I thought made it awesome. It is, of course, I Made Friends with the Psych, it's the Ramparts of Ice. To be fair, I did love both, but Ramparts of Ice was just on a different level to me. The differentiating factor was the unique way this anime tied together drama and romance, focused on creating characters that felt and acted like real people, and then having the love grow out of that organically. At the start of the season, there's no romance at all. As we get to know Koyuki and the friend group though, relationships slowly sprout up. The romance gains momentum steadily, until the final few episodes are an absolute mad dash of drama and uncertainty and love. It's less a slow burn and more a fuse leading to a stick of dynamite. Beyond just the pacing though, this is just such a well thought out story. The characters are so layered and nuanced, and reveal the different sides of themselves at the perfect times. The issues tackled are more real than you'll see in a lot of other romance anime. Koyuki is one of the best versions of an introverted protagonist I've seen, grappling with family issues and insecurity, and frankly being a bit mean and bitter back in middle school. That's one of my favorite parts, that our main character has real things she regrets, and reasons she has a hard time coming to terms with the love that she feels. From top to bottom, Ramparts of Ice is something special. It looks like a romance anime, but under the hood, there's so many little tweaks to the formula that make it feel completely different by season's end. It doesn't rely on subversion to be good though, and its characters and dialogue are exceptional. If you haven't seen it, I urge you to. And if you have, I hope you feel the same way. And if you think I'm crazy and another anime easily clears this one, let me know which one in the comments. I love a good debate. And at the end of the day, these are my opinions. For this list though, Ramparts of Ice is taking the crown. Spring 2026 was a really fun romance anime season. For as many shows as I mentioned or showed clips of in this video, there's even more that I didn't touch on. I would bet that there are even some really good ones that I haven't even heard of. Romance anime fans are eating well these days, so I wanted to take a step back and point out a few big takeaways I had from the past few months. I know some of my comments were negative, but really the overall quality was super high on these shows. Here's hoping that summer brings even more great romance. I'll be there. I hope you'll join me too. And that ends today's video. If you enjoyed and like video essays about romance, anime, and romance anime, liking and subscribing helps a ton and will keep you in the loop, as does hitting the hype button on the mobile app. I'm Slam Anime, and I'll see you next time.